On January 30th, 1969, the Beatles performed what would be their last live concert, an unplanned rooftop show atop the Apple Corp building. By this time, the band had already been struggling with deep internal tensions. Rumors about heated arguments, even physical altercations, were spreading, and members were frequently leaving and rejoining. The chaotic specifics of this era deserve an entire discussion on their own, but the key point is that hostilities had been brewing within the group long before the official breakup. When the dissolution finally became legally recognized in 1974, the Beatles had, in practice, already been apart for nearly 4 years. In reality, emotional distance had been building for at least 6 years before the formal split. This background sets the stage for understanding the mindset of each member in 1971. From 1971 to 1974, the former bandmates battled each other in courtrooms, but in the 3 years before that, their conflicts had been face-to-face. The event in focus here is just one flare-up in the midst of the fiery tensions that accompanied the Beatles' meteoric rise and eventual collapse. When principal songwriters John Lennon and Paul McCartney confirmed their departures in the summer of 1970, the individual members wasted no time launching their solo careers. Even before the breakup was openly acknowledged, Lennon and George Harrison had already released solo albums in 1968 and 1969. However, after the 1970 announcement, solo records began appearing rapidly. The timeline included several key moments. On August 18, 1969, Lennon privately told manager Alan Klein, and later the other members during an intense argument, that he intended to leave the band. Then, on November 7, 1969, McCartney, in an interview with Life magazine, expressed the view that the Beatles chapter had come to an end. Over the next several years, all 4 members maintained the same relentless work ethic that had driven the band, collectively producing 28 solo albums between 1970 and 1979. In the immediate months after the split, Ringo Starr and Harrison embraced their own distinct creative visions, while McCartney and Lennon used their newfound independence to record tracks aimed, sometimes subtly, sometimes directly, at one another. In August 1971, McCartney released his second solo album, Ram. The album contained 12 tracks, ranging from the blues-infused Three Legs to the theatrical medley, Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey. Among these was a largely overlooked track titled Too Many People. Even the name of this sharp, biting song could be interpreted as a counterpoint to Lennon's Power to the People, which had been released on March 12th, just 5 months earlier. It's worth noting that Too Many People had actually been completed shortly before Power to the People was recorded. The gap was only a matter of days, making it plausible that, with their songwriting partnership having only recently disintegrated, McCartney was aware of Lennon's upcoming release. Still, this was not simply a case of 2 songs sharing a similar phrase. When examining the lyrics, the digs at Lennon became far more precise and deliberate, revealing a much sharper edge beneath the music.